Hey y'all, it's your girl Misha. Listen, I'm going to give you a little bit of a description of the people so that you can put a face with a name if you do not have Netflix and you are not watching. Honey, because everybody ain't paying at $11.99 or $20.99 or whatever they charging over there. So let's get into who the people are. Okay, so I'm going to go by couples. First up is AD. She's 33. Her real name is Amber Desiree. She is matched with Clay, who is 31. Next up, we have Chelsea, who is 31, and she's matched with Jimmy Crack Corn, who is 28. We have Laura, who is 34, and she is matched with Jeremy, who is 32. We have Amy, who is 28, and she's matched with Johnny, who is 28. I really like Amy and Johnny together. Another couple that I really like is Brittany, who is 25, and Kenneth, who is 26. Now, I'm very eager to see how it goes when they meet the families. That's what I'm looking for, because Brittany said something that was just so crazy. I was like, girl, what are you even saying? But we haven't gotten to that review yet. Let's continue. Next up is Matthew. Matthew is next to no one, because Matthew will get the hell up and he will get the hell on. Matthew is a nut job, child. A fool. Matthew is 37. We also have Trevor, who is solo dolo. I love me some Trevor. And Trevor and his mullet are 31. Listen, y'all know how I adopted Jacob season 12 of Married at First Sight? Trevor gives me my Jacob vibes. I just love me some Trevor. He seems like a very sweet man, but we're only on episode 6, so we don't know yet. Let's get to the love triangles. So in this love triangle, we have Matthew, Clay, and AD. Child, who would have thunk it? I know Clay wouldn't, because he was like, I know you lying. I'm in a love triangle with mute Matthew? Anyway, the next love triangle is Sarah Ann, Jeremy, and Laura. Now, this one wasn't messy, but he had 2 connections, and Laura and Sarah Ann were both that connection. Now, it's not messy as of yet, but judging from them previews, baby, it gets nasty. Do y'all hear me? After that, we have Trevor, Chelsea, and Jimmy. Now, Chelsea, baby, I feel like this is the most attention that she's ever gotten, because the way that she was moving around these pods, Trevor was one of her connections. Trevor was sold on Chelsea. There was nothing that anybody could say to him about Chelsea. Nothing. And then you also have Jimmy. And of course, he's Jimmy. Now, Jimmy gives me the ick. Something about him is just icky and sticky, and I don't like it. I don't like nothing about it. But this is the final love triangle. Trevor, Chelsea, and Jimmy. Who do y'all think Chelsea's going to choose? Comment down below and let me know who you think Chelsea is going to choose. Now, child, let's get into the review. Hey, girl. Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back, y'all, with a brand new season of Love is Blind, season 6, episodes 1 and 2. Let me tell y'all something. These reviews might come a little slow because, baby, 6 whole episodes all at once. Oh, child, I was up all night. I was like, oh no, this ain't gonna work for me. Now, granted, you know, if the show is good, I can binge watch, but watching, reviewing, editing, talking, giving it the zhuzh, that's a lot. So we will be having some lives, probably going forward, but you know, that could change. But let's get into the review. So when this season first opens up, of course, Vanessa and Nick, they go into the men's quarters, they go into the women's quarters, and they introduce themselves. Child, we know you. We meet Jessica. Jessica has a daughter. And I was like, I think this may be a Love is Blind first. I don't think there has ever been someone who's had a child going into the pods. So Vanessa is asking her, okay, so do you think that's something that you're going to share right up front, or how are you going to go, about it? So she tells them that she has a daughter, but she doesn't want to lead with that because she wants them to get to know her individually because she's more than just a mom. This may be an unpopular opinion, but no, ma'am. Now, I'm not saying say it before you say your name. I'm not saying sit down and be like, hi, I'm Jessica. I have a 10-year-old daughter. No, don't do that. But you do need to tell someone up front, because what if they don't want to date a woman that has kids? Now they're attached to you. Then you could be setting yourself up, because if you fall for them, then they dump you, then you're going to be hurt. Plus, I'm not ever going to push my motherhood to the side. No, it doesn't define me, but it is something that I am proud of. I didn't understand that one. But maybe that's just me. So they tell them that they have 10 days to fall in love. And if they get engaged, then they're going to meet the person, fly off to the honeymoon. You know how they like to do. Moving forward. So they start the speed dating. We meet Trevor. Trevor and his mullet. My Trevor. He said people think that he's a meathead. So he goes in to talk to Chelsea. He says, listen, my dog's name is Chelsea. Sir, nobody wants to hear that she's named after your damn dog. Trevor, goodbye. Trevor is 30 and he's an account manager. Trevor is something else. Not you telling this woman that she has the same name as your damn dog. So then she's like, Trevor? Oh my gosh, that's my dog's name. Now, really and truly, I feel like Chelsea was lying. I said, okay, so Chelsea, you're going to have to go home and name your damn dog Trevor. Because you know that your dog's name is not Trevor. But because you wanted to be petty and he named you, and you know his dog is named after you, and he said that out loud, now all of a sudden your dog's name is Trevor. Child, I wasn't buying that. So they started getting to know each other. She asked 5 things that make him smile. He said sunny days, his dog, a good love movie like The Notebook. And he also said that a fresh cut lawn makes him smile. Now, when he was saying that, I said, you know what? If that man would have said vacuum lines, baby, I would have swooned. Do you hear me? It is nothing like a fresh set of vacuum lines. Now, I know a lot of people don't like carpet, but I still do like carpet. And when I see that a room has been tied together with some damn good vacuum lines, baby, that's everything to me. When I say everything, I mean everything. Chelsea and Trevor seem to have hit it off. Things seem to be going good, but you just never know. Chelsea said that she's really ready for marriage, honey. She be even hanging out down at the Home Depot. Child, I mean, that's what they be telling you to do over on the TikTok, but they don't be working, honey. There don't be nobody in there but them contractors that's been working all damn day and night, and trust they got a whole family at the house. So then she meets Jimmy. Jimmy is 27 and he's a software salesman. 27 seemed like the 27 lie. Maybe his late 30s or something, because he looked like a good old dad of 2. I don't know if it was that blazer or them loafers, honey. Something was giving, I drive a minivan, honey. So they started talking. He said that he wants to go to every stadium in the world. He wants to travel. She tells him that she's a flight attendant and an event planner. Okay, so he telling her he want to travel, honey, because she a flight attendant and she could take him on her buddy passes. So they do a little talking. They get to know each other. Okay, so then Jessica meets Jimmy. He asked her what she likes to do. She said, you know, I'm just a homebody. I really like to try new restaurants, hang out, do new things, but I just like being at home. Now, she's 28. He's telling her he's a Scorpio and she's a Capricorn. So after talking, they both feel good about each other. Jessica, you plan on marrying one of these men? So let's usher on in autumn. Now, this is what I'm thinking as I'm watching this. I'm like, okay, you're telling him, you know, I like to talk, I like to walk, baby, we've now gotten the frivolous things out of the way. Let's usher in our daughter. Now, maybe that's just my mature thinking, but I don't think you continue on with no relationship or even no conversation. That used to be the first thing I asked, because I used to not date men with kids, honey, and then I broke my rule and I was a fool. Oh, I rhyme. I do it all the time. No, just kidding. But seriously, as soon as we sit down, I'm like, hey, you know, what's your name? What's your sign? As soon as he buy that wine, I just creep up from behind and ask him if he's got a child. Okay? Not what his interests are and who he be with. I'm like, do you have a kid? Yeah. And I would get politely on up and walk away. Speaking of walk away, let's meet Matthew. Matthew is a weird one. Okay? He is a weird one. He is creepy. Matthew goes in to talk to Jessica. So he had this paper with questions on it, right? I think it was numbered 1 through 15. So he said, pick a number. She said, okay, I'll pick number 10. He said, so then he asked her the question, and then she asked him one back, and then he got up and walked out. Baby, no goodbye, no see you later, no auf Wiedersehen, no deuces, no nothing. He just got his ass up and walked out. So he goes, yeah, I was supposed to be the one asking the question. I didn't think she was going to ask me a question back. Sir, what? This isn't The Bachelor is Blind. You're not in control. You're not handing out roses through the wall. You don't get to dictate what happens and if they ask you questions back. What are you talking about? So he moves on to Sarah Ann. She asked him how things were going. He's like, well, we'll keep that close to the vest. Baby, Matthew is giving little weirdo energy. It might be big weirdo energy. Something about him gives, It gives, I haven't seen her all day. Have you seen her? Whole time you in the closet. Allegedly. Child, please. So he's telling her that he's going to be asking the questions from his little list. So she chose number 12. He asked her, what are your short-term goals? The question was about short-term goals, but honey, the answer was definitely long. Again, Matthew gets up and walks out. Matthew is rude as hell. Who casted him? And as Matthew was navigating these spaces, it made me think that Matthew was a production plant. There is no way on God's green earth that they thought that Matthew would be a contender for Love is Blind. Oh, and by the way, Matthew is 36 and he's a financial advisor. Sure. He said, it just really makes me uncomfortable, when people say love, like even saying the word love. I can't even say it. Oh, okay. So you chose to go on Is Blind. You chose to be a part of Is Blind. Not Love is Blind, but just Is Blind. Got it. So he takes his questions over to Amber, and she absolutely loved him. She's like, what are your next questions? What else you got for me? He said, you know what? You have nice energy. Baby, this is a mess. He gets in his little confessional thing talking about, Superman also had a cold personality. Baby, you ain't no Clark Kent. Okay, you are not. And you're not even saving nobody. So you don't get a pass for being a jerk. Just walking out and not saying anything. But what's wrong with you? So then he meets AD. AD looks like Paige from season 12 of Married at First Sight. Hannah. Listen, AD, the body is sickening. But baby, they just needed to add like a few more tracks in the front. It's a sew in, but the sew was not all the way in. Okay, it just needed like a track and a track and a track on top of that. Bring it down, and then a track and a track and a track on top of that on the right side. Bring it down. We got to get that together, baby, because we have to have our black women representing. We can't let them make a fool of us. Now, AD, now we got to get that together. It's giving Paige. So she went right into the questions. I guess he was warmed up by then because he actually answered them. He said he's a small town country boy with like 600 people in his town. I was like, oh, okay, AD, baby, you ain't the one for him. Not a small town country boy, and he ain't fooling me. He doesn't show emotion because he feels like that's weakness. And I don't know if he like AD in person. I cannot see her being his type. Now, she did make him feel comfortable, so you just never know. So he's telling her that he started seeing a therapist because everybody else was. And he told the therapist that he was doing Is Blind. And she was surprised and confused because he never says anything. And what? Why are you not talking? How you gonna do a show and you never utter a word? Now, she did say she had a great time talking to him. And he tells her that she's extremely sweet and he's hoping for another date. Woo, that was weird. Next up, AD meets Clay. Now, Clay is a 30-year-old tech salesman. It's giving standard F-boy. It's giving ready to ruin your life, ready to waste your time, ready to see how resilient you are. I would never. At this age. Maybe back in the day when I ain't know no better, but not today. So she's telling him, that she was doing the dating apps, and he's like, well, I like to FaceTime you and talk to you on the phone. During normal business hours or what? Because I could just see him FaceTiming when you got your bonnet on, laying down, binge watching your favorite show because he's trying to get freaky deek and come over in the middle of the damn night. What time are you FaceTiming and calling? And you ain't fooling me. He's telling her, I'm 30 and I was trying to hold on to 29 as long as possible. Okay, Peter Pan, we got to move it along. Okay, let's just move it along. He starts telling her he's thinking about, getting a cat. She was like, oh, no, I'm terrified of cats. He said, well, I want to get a cat because, you ain't got to show them love all the time. Red flag. Because why don't you like showing love? Okay, if you ain't showing love to that cat, you ain't going to show love to mine. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. He's telling her he don't like showing love all the time. So that's automatically a red flag. And she was like, no, I'm not going to like that. Sis. Him saying that shows me that he may be emotionally unavailable. And we can't have that. That ain't gonna work. She said, well, that's not gonna work for me because I need kisses. Now, he been talking to her all of 5 minutes, y'all. 5 hot minutes. And he gonna say, I wish I could kiss you right now. Red flag number 2. Red flag number 2. Because why do you want to put your mouth on her? You don't even know her. Haven't even seen her. She ain't even said nothing that great. Why do you want to kiss her right away? Red flag number 2. So no love all the time, but you ready to kiss a stranger. Okay. She said, oh my gosh, that kind of threw me for a loop. So she asked him if he was ready for a relationship. He said, yeah, I am. So far for me, it's given I want to be on TV. It's given I want to be on TV. I want to get brand deals. It's given a lie. Now, he did say that he felt like he wouldn't find anyone to like his personality. So he appreciates that she gives him words of affirmation. One thing about AD, baby, the mouthpiece is on point. She gonna make a man feel like a man. Okay. And they ain't gonna know what hit him. She got game. But at the same damn time, sir, no. Okay? Just no. Now, I felt like when he said people wouldn't understand his personality or like his personality, and he likes the fact that she is giving him words of affirmation, I felt like that was a real moment, but I'm just not sold. So everybody comes out, everybody's feeling day one. Oh my God, that was so fun. This is great. It's like sleepaway camp, but with dating. Moving forward. We see Trevor in the men's quarters, right? And he's telling people that Chelsea is his dog's name. Trevor, please stop repeating that. Please. For the love of Love is Blind. Please stop repeating that Chelsea is your damn dog's name. In the women's quarters, Jessica said Jimmy was her number one and he made her vagina pulse. Did he? Girl, wait till you see him. Okay. Girl, should nothing be pulsing until you tell him about that little pulse that you created that's back at the house. I'm not going to let that go. We got to advocate for our kids. We got to be on the front lines, making sure that we don't pick up weirdos to take back home to our kids. That's something you need to be telling him. AD is telling them all about Clay and how she likes his energy. And she said she liked Matthew. Baby, all the women were like, what? Not mute Matthew. Girl, not Matthew and his binder full of questions. Girl, you liked him? Say what now? So baby, they all confused because they cannot believe that she actually cracked the code. So it's the next day. Everyone is making breakfast. Baby, they made sure to show that food, didn't they? They showed that food after these allegations that were coming out about them. So now it's time for round 2. Amy goes in to talk to Johnny. Sweet, sweet Amy. She starts telling him that she wants to go to Japan and that she likes anime. He says that he's never left the country and she's only been places with her family. He's loving her accent. And, they start talking. He starts telling her how much family means to him. She tells him this story about how she had moved from Puerto Rico at 5 and she didn't have friends and she really didn't speak the language. So her dad had to find people to actually come to her birthday parties. And I was like, oh, Amy, that's tough. I mean, they are having a great conversation and they really are bonding over their love of travel and family. I think this was a cute pod date. I really do. The two of them are really giving cute. I like Johnny and Amy. I think they're going to be all right. Back over here with Clay and AD, they go for a second pod date. So she's telling him that the A stands for Amber and his name is Clayton, but they call him Clay. Why would they call you that? Is something in the front of your name beginning with an O? Like what? Clay. Okay, child. He's telling her, he wants to cuddle with her. He's like, I wish I could cuddle with you right now. Clay want to get in with the physical touch. Clay, why do you want to kiss and touch and feel and rub? You don't know her. Huh? You don't know her. So she was flirting back with him because they were having a nighttime date. And he said in a relationship, you have to have balance. You have to be fun and flirty and this. Yeah, you do have to have balance, but let me get to know you first before you try to lay your head on my bosom. Like, please let me get to know you. Amber says she feels like he's a ladies' man. Well, baby, your feeling will be correct. He be in these streets all day and night. Then she met with Matthew again. Amber thinks that Matthew is a project. Talking about, he's like a little pistachio. He's hard on the outside, but when you open it up, ma'am, we do not have time to crack nuts, Amber. Okay? We don't have time for that. She was like, he's flourishing right before my eyes. She's like, yeah, I'm one of those people that'll see a red flag and then I'll paint my nails red to match it. You are not ready to love. Honey, I know that's not this show, but you got to go. You got to go as well. So they're talking. And she's telling him, she's a little protective over him now. So she hopes that the ladies are being nice to him. Well, baby, what she say that for? He loved that. She asked him what his favorite genre of music was. He said rock and roll or rock music, but he likes instrumentals as well. So she told him she likes R&B and hip hop and classic 80s rock music. And, he was like, oh, okay, I can get with that. So as they're talking, he tells her he used to be in a lot of dance-offs. Dance-offs? I cannot imagine Matthew in his You Got Served era. It's not giving Chris Brown. It's not, let me see if you can run it. It's not giving that. It's not giving that. I cannot see Matthew in anybody's TikTok challenges. I just cannot see it. Can y'all see Matthew big old self being in the dance off? Child, that was funny to me. When I tell y'all I had tears in my eyes. He said he got in a dance off with one of these guys and he was killing it. So he had to bust a split. Sir, get up off that damn floor. So you mean to tell me that you dropped down and got your eagle on because that man was winning? So these two are having this quirky conversation. It's working for them, but it will be a no for me, big dog. Matthew told AD she makes him nervous and comfortable all at the same time. He's telling her, what I'm saying to you, I haven't said it to anyone else. Sure, Jan. Moving forward. He's like, with you, it just feels different. Now Matthew's splitting and spitting game. AD don't fall for that. Okay, he can't be trusted. Over with Jimmy and Jessica, they go for a hot wing pod date. Jimmy was being gross because the spice got to him, so he had to blow his nose. Now, I would have been so grossed out, especially while there's food in front of me. You need to blow your trumpet elsewhere. I hate bodily sounds. I can't stand it while I'm eating. I don't like smacking, burping, blowing of the nose. I don't like any of that. I can't even watch those mukbangs or mukbangs, however you want to pronounce it. I don't want to see you slurping and smacking. Now, I don't know when that became such a phenomenon, but I can't stand to see people do that while I'm eating. I would have pulled a Matthew. I'm going to go. I'm going to get my purse and I'm going to go. Child, I would have left. Back at the women's quarters, they're asking if Jessica had talked to her daughter, right? Because the date is over. She was like, no, but I really miss her. Don't make me get emotional. Girl, she decides that today was the day that she was going to tell Jimmy about her daughter. So, baby, they get in the pods. And she accidentally on purpose calls him her husband. Now, she getting in deep. Ma'am, pump your brakes. Because we don't know. They start talking, right? He's telling her the connection was quick. He feels like there's nothing to be afraid of. And in school, his family didn't have as much growing up. And she said, well, I feel like you're a good person. I can just feel that even through the wall. So after he tells her that, she says, it's something I want to share with you, but I've been terrified. He said, uh-oh, sounds like a secret. She said, no, because a secret is like something that's negative. Yeah, it's just not. It's not negative. Okay, now I understand not wanting to be judged, but why come on here and wait to say something? I just feel like she should have said something a lot earlier. She tells him finally that she has a 10-year-old daughter. That pregnant pause that he took says that he checked out. I mean, she just kind of said it, and then she's like, she's the most important part of my life. He asks, why didn't she tell him that earlier? And she keeps saying, I don't lead with it because I want people to get to know me first. See, but the thing is, your daughter is a part of who you are. So please stop saying that. It makes no sense. Not to me. Because you're not giving the person the opportunity to say yay or nay. There are a lot of people who don't want to date people with children. Is it right? No. Because at certain ages, a lot of us have children. But you still should make sure to say that. Because you are basically making people's decision for them. And that's not cool. So she keeps saying that she's so proud to be a mom. But to me, it seems like she was a little bit ashamed. Now she's 28. Which means that she had her at 18 and she got pregnant at 17. Now, I think you feel like the men will judge you. That may be an unpopular opinion because, I know that everybody is Team Jessica. But it started wrong. She said she wanted to wait until they talked about marriage and children so she could say, yeah, I have a head start on that one. Jessica, that is not how this works, honey. This is not a race. Girl, go away with this nonsense. I don't have time. Moving forward. He said, well, it's not a deal breaker. Sir, you're 27. You're lying. I do not think you're ready to be a family. Just add water. You do not want to be a dad. You're just sitting here judging secretly and you ain't fooling me, especially by the way that you're doing all this damn pausing. So he asks more about her and she's telling him that her name is Autumn and she's so sweet. She's so special. So baby, he starts doing the math in his head. And he said, well, were you in a serious relationship when you had her? She said, well, she used to move around a lot. And there was this guy that she had been knowing since elementary school. And he was always like home base for her. So they got together and then she got pregnant her senior year of high school. They broke up a year after the baby was born. He's a great dad. They co-parent well. There's no bad blood. Everything's all good. But yeah, they're just not together. He says, well, it's just another piece of who you are. Now, as I'm watching this, I've noticed that the entire mood has shifted, in my opinion. Okay, the entire mood. I think he's saying nice things because he would be a jerk otherwise on TV. But in his mind, he's thinking, no, I do not want to be a father to someone else's child. And he ain't fooling me. Jimmy likes to lie. So he goes in to have a date with Chelsea after Jessica. He's telling her about college and all of his degrees. And she's like, well, I didn't go to college. I'm like the only one that's a flight attendant that was in my class that didn't attend college. I more so went to trade schools. Listen, college ain't for everybody. It's really not, especially in today's climate. Some people just don't want to go to college. So Chelsea then tells him that she got married at 18 to her high school sweetheart. She was married almost 5 years. Baby Jimmy getting hit left and right. Do you hear me? He said, well, that doesn't scare me because I got some news today that was even more scary. See, I knew it. The way that you are describing her news as scary, I damn knew it. He's telling her that he isn't judging her, but he needs to collect his thoughts. She starts crying. I knew it wouldn't be long before the pod pool of tears started. These people know they gonna cry. I don't know if it's sleep deprivation or what it is. But why are y'all doing all this damn crying? Why are you crying? Being married before is okay. Y'all are not 16. It does not make you a bad person. Jessica just threw him off. So now he's coming over here all stunned, too stunned to speak, because now he has a divorcee and a hot mom. So Chelsea walked out. She's all distraught, thinking it was her. He just clammed up when I said I was married before. Girl, anyway. So now it's day 3. Trevor and Chelsea, they go for another date. I think I like them together better. They're doing a box of questions. The question was, have you ever said I love you and didn't mean it? She said, yeah, I said it before, and I just don't feel like I really felt it in that moment. He asked her if she was ever close to marriage. She said, yeah, I was. Actually, I've been married. He said, okay, so you would say you were close. Sir? You're never going to beat those meathead allegations. Baby, she wasn't damn near close, baby. She was in that thing. She was married. She's like, I told you that, right? Chelsea, now you got a little manipulative spirit as well. You know damn well that you did not tell Trevor that you had been married before. So he's asking her questions about it. She's telling him, I loved being married, but I was young. We grew apart. We're cool, and I wish nothing but the best for him. I feel like Trevor was so sweet, though. He was very accepting of it. He didn't judge her. He didn't make her feel weird. He just talked her through it. He said, well, I feel like it would be a red flag if at this age you've never had a serious relationship. That's how I feel. So she said, well, are you ready for something serious? He said, with you, yeah. Aw, Chels, Trevor is with it. Girl, you better get your man. Johnny and Amy. Back over with Johnny and Amy, they go for another date, and Johnny felt the need to sing a little ditty that he wrote. You know what? I think that they make these men write these songs every season. Because he started saying something like, Amy, Famey. I don't even know what the hell he was saying. I just know he was singing. I was like, Johnny, please shut the hell up. So they show the other dates briefly. They show the little brief snippets of everybody else dating. Back at the lounge, Amber 1.0 is telling Amber 2.0, which would be AD. The next few days are going to be very telling. So AD is going for a date with Clay. He does say that he looks up to his dad, and his dad has this smooth demeanor, and the way that he moves, he kind of picked up on that, and that his ego is huge. He said even though, his dad was smooth and he's smooth, he never quite gets the girl that he wants. And he appreciates her saying that she wanted to get to know him. And she's like, oh, I just really like that you're vulnerable, because most men wouldn't say that. Girl, this is game. Clay has learned how to play the game. He knows that therapy is the new tagline. These men love to just throw out some therapizing words. And then people that like to fix men, they just fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Oh my God, she's revealing so much to me. He says that he doesn't know why I even like him. Girl, it's game. He said his worst fear is that they fall in love and see each other, but they never talked about the physical. Now we're getting to the real Clay. He wants to be turned on by his wife. Nothing wrong with that, because, you want to appreciate what you have and what you're looking at. But I was just like, so he wants to make sure that he gets what he wants. This ain't the show for you. So she said, well, what do you want to talk about? Like, in what way do you want to talk about it? She said, what is your type? He said, someone petite. I like the lips, the butt, and the hips and stuff. I like that. He said, let me hear your best attributes. Because if I'm going to propose to somebody, that's something that I need to know. Okay, this is giving Chris and Paige all over again. Sweetheart, you can just keep that sponsored ring that they're going to give you, because you are proving why those girls that you couldn't get didn't want you. Because you're not ready. You're on Love is Blind. No matter if she comes out with one toe, you are supposed to like her, because love is supposed to be blind. But we all know it's not. Okay, we all know that it's not. The premise is to get to know people for their personalities and not their looks. So she's taken aback, because what? I'm not about to describe my body to you. She said it's a turnoff, and I don't want to sell myself by my physical attributes. She doesn't like that he's hung up on looks. I knew it when he was ready to kiss and snuggle with you. I knew that he was like that when he said, I just want to, lay my head on you. I like to cuddle. I knew then. He's one of those drive-bys. You call him when you need a tune-up, but baby, you don't take him serious. Okay? You don't take him serious, and you don't take him out in the daytime. Child, that's not going to work. So then she meets with Matthew. Matthew in his book of questions. He's telling her that he knows that she dates, other people or whatever. And she wants the guy that's the center of attention, and that's not him. But guys like him win more. Do they now? Interesting. What kind of guy are you? Because to me, you creep me all the way the hell out. So what guy like you wins more? So he's telling her, I've been thinking about you all this time. I get creepy vibes from Matthew. I don't know. It's giving follow me home because I said hello on the subway. I don't like it. I don't damn like it. Just something about it gives me the heebie-jeebies. And it's every time I see him, I'm like, ooh, jeepers creepers. It's just something I can't get with, honey. I ain't going to be able to do it. He said, it's only two outcomes. I can leave with you or not. I said, ooh, child. Absolutely not. Because she's the only reason that he's there. Side note, I hate those broom whistle lashes on AD. Now, I tried to ignore them, but I cannot do it. Those lashes are just too heavy. They are just too heavy for her face. He's telling her that his greatest accomplishment is finding her. Laying it on a little thick, aren't we, sir? You don't even know her. Talking about he wanted to call his mom as soon as he got through talking to her. Girl, you better had not told him nothing personal about you. He's like, just why am I so lucky? She said, you are lucky. Girl, I know that's right. Honey, AD said, yeah, you are lucky. Honey, you lucky to be talking to me. So then he asked about the engagement and what her dad would think. And she said, my dad passed away. He said, I'm so sorry because I would have asked him permission to marry you. Unless you know something that we don't, you cannot ask anyone anything. You're supposed to do it on your own. So then she asked him how important ethnicity was for him. He said, it's not important at all. It doesn't matter. Why is that? She said, because I could be anything, but that's good to know. I was just wondering. I was wondering myself. And I think he lying, child. He said they can leave together right now. Quit the show right damn now. And baby, she was loving it. So she assumed that he was white, which he is. And she said that she's never dated a white man, but she's down for it. So later on, Amber 1.0 is telling AD Amber 2.0 that Matthew told her that he wanted to ask her dad to marry her. Meanwhile, AD is just taking it all in. She said, yeah. Then he told me that he would get a map to come and get me. Child, he probably building a tunnel to your house as we speak. That's why he asked if AD was going to share their information, because as they were leaving the pods, he's like, are you going to share anything we talked about? Matthew has a thing for Ambers, don't he? So then AD was just taking it all in, knowing full and well that he had told her the same thing. He probably wrote it down in a little notebook of his. He can't be trusted. And that was the end of episode 1. So baby, it's episode 2. The guys are in the men's quarters talking about knowing Matthew's connections. Jeremy, who is 31, is talking about his connection with certain ladies and what he wants for marriage. So he goes for a date with Laura. Now, these are a separate group of people. So now we're on to Laura and Jeremy. As soon as she walked in, he tried to guess her voice, right? He guesses Sarah Ann, but it's really Laura. So he's going to try to play it off, talking about, I knew it. I was just playing with you. I knew it. So they started talking about how Laura hates a nasty man. Your house needs to be cleaned up, or you can't be with her if you dirty, honey, because it ain't going to work. He was like, yeah, I have a robot vacuum going at all times. Yeah, right. I felt like that was a lie. She liked it, but I think he was just saying what he thought she wanted to hear. So then he has a date with Sarah. She comes in. He couldn't wait to tell her, I called someone else your name today, accidentally. Red flag, because I feel like you couldn't wait to tell her that. Why did you tell her that? But then you lied to Laura and said, I knew who you were. I was just kidding. So she starts telling him what life would look like with the two of them together. He tells her that he has a 4-bedroom house, but he's renting it because he sold his house and he wants to buy a new house, but he wants to do that with his future wife. Why does a bachelor need a 4-bedroom home? Sir, do you have kids as well? Honey, because all y'all hiding something. Johnny and Amy. So Johnny and Amy are on another date. They're talking about holidays and how they grew up. Johnny gonna sing if he don't do nothing else. Honey, a man after my own heart. Johnny is gonna sing a tune. So she's asking what's his biggest fear. He said, so like what I'm scared of type of thing. Duh, obviously. Obviously, that's what fear means. What are you even talking about? She said her biggest fear is her brother because he has autism and her dad is his legal guardian and he takes care of him. And her fear is that if something happens to her dad, she would have to care for him. So she wants a husband that's going to care for her family like she does. And that's going to be accepting of the fact that at some point she may have to be a caregiver. And she wants her brother first and foremost to feel safe with whoever she's in a relationship with. So Johnny said, I'm on the same page with you on this. Now, I hope that you mean this, Johnny, because it's a big deal. Okay. Now, I don't know, though, because after you said that, you said to her, a few weeks ago, I would have just written you off for saying that. So I'm trying to figure out what changed. A lot of y'all are not being authentic. You really are not. Back in the women's quarters, AD is talking to Alejandra and she's telling her how Matthew is doing the old rinse and repeat with her and Amber 1.0 and Amber doesn't know about it. Baby, who knew that Matthew had it in him? Me, that's who. His personality is awful and I knew he was going to be up to foolery. So Alejandra is telling her that, well, at least with Clay, girl, he's transparent. He even said himself that he's not a good person. Okay, so why would she want to date him again? I don't want no man sitting up in my face telling me I'm not a good person. I am not. I'm just not a good person. And then I'm going to sit here and say, well, he told me he's not a good person and I just feel like he could really love me. No, ma'am. He is telling you I am not a good person. So what you will receive is not a damn good person. So she was like, well, I feel like that's a red flag, but I'm a pro at that. I would just let him practice on me. No, ma'am, we will not. He will not practice on you. That ain't gonna damn work. So AD goes to meet with Matthew and she went right in telling him that she's been hearing that he's been telling other women the same thing. He's like, who, Amber? So you knew exactly who it was because you're telling them the same damn things. So then he has the nerve to lie and say, well, that's not true. How else would she know exactly what it is that you said to AD? She repeated it without AD saying a word. He then chooses to point out one thing that he said to AD that was different, which was about his mom. And we don't even know if that's the damn truth. He's like, that's not true. Like, we're being recorded. You've watched the show. Nice try. Nice try. That ain't gonna work on me, honey. They ain't roll that beautiful bean footage. She's upset. And he's saying, his feelings haven't changed for her. And he knows it's her before she even says a word. And he can feel her energy through the screen. Child, anyway, listen, Matthew, you're talking, but it's giving all lies. I wouldn't trust you as far as I can throw you. And I can't pick you up, so I damn sure don't trust you. He's telling her if he proposes, it will be the best moment of her life. So then he starts to manipulate her with his words. Girl, please stand up. Do not let this man talk you in a circle. I cannot believe you are still sitting here speaking to him. He deflected and brings up her other connections, talking about, I'm going to break it off. And I'm hoping that you're going to be happy that I'm going to break it off. If I had to make a decision today, I would choose you. AD, dear God, make you a bird so you can fly far, far, far away. If you don't get up and get the hell out, leave Matthew sitting just like he did everybody else. So she leaves and she's with the dramatics and now she's over here with Clado. So they start talking and she tells him about her getting information about another one of her connections. Well, baby, what's she say that for? Because as she's telling him, he jumps up and he starts pacing. His energy is an immediate no. I understand not wanting to hear about another man, but watch your tone with me. I don't take kindly to people yelling and getting loud and doing all that. I don't like that kind of stuff. He's like, so you're not feeling me? Because that ain't got nothing to do with me. He's a little bit too aggressive for my taste. So it would be a hell no. And it's just so crazy that the one woman that's being shown that is black has a choice of fool or fooler. Honey, both of them are a fool. And she got to choose one of the fools. So then he asked, well, what love triangle am I in? Let's talk about it. Let's be transparent. She said, well, it's me, you, and Matthew. He said, Matthew? I don't even know a Matthew. Wait a minute. Matthew? Oh, you gonna regret this. You gonna regret this. I'm telling you, AD, you gonna regret this. Baby, not your little ego being bruised. Sit down, honey. You get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. Honey, not a whole tantrum. Did you not think that she was going to talk to anybody else but you, Clado? Boy, goodbye. And baby, I don't deal well with men being like Clay. Pacing and telling me I'm going to regret it and talking out loud. I would have walked out on him as well. So she's telling him, she likes him, but she has a stronger connection to Matthew, and maybe it was just stronger in her head. So he's like talking with his eyes closed. She said, okay, sorry, I couldn't give you what you need. He said, oh, that's all you got? Baby, please. Now, he apologized about the aggression of it all, but who he showed himself to be in those first few minutes is the real Clay. Now, I'm telling you from experience that I ignored those red flags filled with aggression, and it landed me in the most awful situations ever. When they do things like that in the beginning, all jokes aside, that is a man that you shouldn't even mess with. I wouldn't even speak to you again. There's no hi, there's no bye, there's no cordial, there's no friends, there's nothing. Because this is how you behave. So, baby, she goes back into the ladies' lounge telling them that Clay had ripped her a new one because Matthew told her to leave. So Amber said, leave? Like as in what? Like leave with him? AD said, yeah, tomorrow. She looking at her like, I know you fucking lying. So Clay comes back into the men's lounge like, I didn't even know that Matthew could even speak. But I'm out here in a love triangle with you? Like what? Like what the hell are y'all even in there talking about? Well, baby, that's what we all want to know. These two couldn't be any more opposite. Truth be told, I think that Clay just wants to win. At this moment, as I'm watching this, I don't know if Clay would be 100% sold on AD either. I feel like he's one of those that wants a mal. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I just like to keep it real, honey. I feel like he wants a mal, but we shall see. He is all the way in his feelings. He doesn't feel like Matthew is even on his level. In the women's quarters, AD tells Amber everything he said to her, he said to her. So now they're comparing notes. And apparently, he told Amber 1.0 that they're going to leave together as well. But the funny part about all of this is all of this hoopla is over Matthew. Everybody in their feelings over this man that can't even carry a conversation. Amber is upset. AD is upset. Clay is upset. So Amber starts crying, Amber 1.0, and she's like, okay, I'm going to bow out. Okay, I'm going to go. AD, I hope you don't think you won. Brittany and Kenneth. So now we're being introduced to Brittany and Kenneth. I really like Brittany and Kenneth together. I wasn't sold in the beginning, but I really do. Brittany and Kenneth, they're meeting up in the pods. He's super excited because they have things in common. She used to be a teacher. He's a principal. Plus, they both love God. He's telling her about how his mom passed when he was 12 from cancer, and her dad passed away from alcoholism. And one thing about these pods, they gonna share what they done went through. If they don't do nothing else, they are going to share these tough conversations. And this is what I'm saying. If they can get deep like this, Jessica should have come off rip and been like, I have a daughter. Like, that's something you need to be sharing. Not your favorite color. Like, what? She said the outside world would see her as an alpha male, but she wants to be led and she wants to be submissive. Baby, the world definitely wouldn't see you as an alpha male, Miss Mamas. They wouldn't. Not an alpha male. Now, maybe you meant to say alpha female, but they would not have seen you as no damn alpha male. Child, this is a fool. Here we go with this talk of submission again. Child, anyway. She said that she cannot wait until she can say to her kids, go talk to your dad. Go ask your daddy about that. You need to go talk to your daddy. They both want kids. They both want twins. Both of their moms were twins, but her mom's twin passed away from a car accident. And it seems like Kenneth is a really sweet man. He's going to make some woman very happy. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Brittany, because I don't know if I feel like they're going to really go for the long haul, but you just never know. Johnny and Amy. So they're back in the pods, and he accidentally said that he loved her. You do not love her. Y'all don't even know each other. She was like, well, I love you too. This pod really has people saying the wildest things. How do you love each other? How do y'all love each other? Back in the women's quarters, Amy is telling the women that Johnny said he loves her. Jimmy and Chelsea. So Jimmy and Chelsea meet up again in the pods, and he tells her that he doesn't hold her divorce against her. So they're talking, and she asks if he ever gets mistaken for a celebrity. Now, right here, this was her fishing for his physicality. She wanted to know exactly how he looked, and if he said he was, similar to anyone, or if he favored anyone, she could get a visual of how he looked, and she wasn't fooling me. He said, yeah, I do. She said, me too. Like, I think it's, it's just because of my dark hair and my blue eyes. He said, who is it? She said, MGK's wife or girlfriend. I don't know which one she is. He said, Megan Fox, ma'am? Nah, you look like you, but you damn sure don't look like no Megan Fox. Baby, y'all love to throw Megan Fox around on this damn Love is Blind. Didn't Brennan tell his woman that she looks like Megan Fox on that season as well? Baby, y'all love to do that. You're a pretty lady, but I do not get Megan Fox from you. I do not. Baby, when she told him that, his eyes lit up. He's like, oh, wow, will you marry me? Shallow much? Okay, Shallow Hal. Let's see what you think when you see her. Girl, you just wanted him to get excited about Megan Fox. Girl, goodbye and good night. Moving forward, Jimmy and Jessica. So Jessica goes for a date with Jimmy after Megan Fox. Now, I don't know if she can measure up. I don't know what you gonna do, Jessica. You ain't no Megan Fox. They pan over to the men's quarters where they're asking Jimmy if he's ready to be a dad. He's like, I don't know, but I think so. Child, you're not ready. On their date, she's crying because she really misses her daughter. So he's like, well, what is she like? Tell me about her. Jessica said, she's smart, she's kind, she is important. He asked if she wants more kids because he wants kids of his own. The short answer is yes. They were talking about his siblings, and he tells her that his older sister was adopted, and then he tells her the story behind it. She has a similar experience being in foster care. She was adopted at 16. She said her adoptive mom really saved her because she got pregnant, right? And she was pregnant at 17 and she was still a minor. So if her mom didn't adopt her, she would not have been able to keep custody of her daughter. Now, I can't read Jimmy, but I don't know who it is he likes more, Jessica or Chelsea. Okay, I really don't know. Trevor and Chelsea. So Trevor goes for a date with Chelsea. He is sold on her, baby. He don't want nobody else. They're talking and she's telling him she's trying to picture him. She's playfully mentioning someone having a mullet, and lo and behold, he has a mullet. So they bond over that for a few minutes. And I was just like, oh, that's cute. Johnny and Amy. So they go for another date. He gets down on one knee and asks Amy to marry him. Amy's so sweet. She is so sweet. So now we have one proposal down. Of course, she said yes. I think these two might be all right. Back in the women's quarters, AD is talking to Alejandra about Matthew and Clay and her dilemma. Okay, Kelly Rowland. Matthew and AD. So they go for a morning pod date. He came in saying that, he was going through it last night and Amber left and it was because of him. And AD, knowing that that's the reason that she left, she was like, well, I don't know why, but everybody's reasons are different. You can't just assume it's because of you. Girl, it's because of him. So she's talking to him and he's crying, saying, this has just been difficult. Then he says, America loves an underdog and I probably have the entire United States on my side. Is the support in the room with us? When did we start supporting Matthew? Baby, y'all comment down below. Put an M in the comments if you support Matthew. I bet not see not one damn M in that comments. I swear to God. Y'all better not put one damn M in them comments. Oh, honey. Sir, you are a master manipulator. Don't drag us in it, honey. We don't give a damn. We don't care nothing about you. We're talking about you got the whole America on your side. Anyway, this man has studied this show and still got it all wrong. He then asked her to be honest about whether or not she wants him. So he said, if you have a connection with someone else, then that's cool. She said, yes, I do. He then says, well, I'm out because I can't give you what you want. He goes in and gives this little spiel. And she asked him if Amber is the reason why he's sounding so devastated. He said, yeah, I broke someone's heart on national TV. He is too calculated and creepy for my liking. And truth be told, he was going to choose Amber 1.0 anyway. But now that she's gone, he's all of a sudden unable to give AD what she wants. Matthew, you are full of it. Girl, please just walk out. He's like, America is going to be watching this. Something about him is very unsettling. And yes, America is watching this. And we all have come to the consensus that you give creepy. Okay? So, baby, now she in her feelings. He goes back to the men's quarters, stomping in, talking about, I'm going to get Amber. Amber, I hope we don't have to put out an Amber alert. Because something just ain't right, baby. Something is just not right. Hide your kids, hide your wife, because Matthew is on the loose. I don't trust him. I do not trust him. Moving forward. Matthew is diabolical, y'all. That's who he wanted this whole time. He wanted Amber 1.0 this whole damn time. And he ain't fooling me. Johnny and Amy. So they're about to see each other for the first time. The doors open and scene. And that was the end of episode 2. Woo, y'all, I'm going to come back with episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6, probably separately, because the reviews are too long for me. I don't want to have to edit an hour-long review. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you episode 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. So please be on the lookout for these, y'all. Please be on the lookout. Set your notifications so that you don't miss one. And also, we will be doing lives for Love is Blind. But what I think I'm going to do is for the episodes moving forward, we will have lives instead of reviews. But like I said, we'll play it by ear. All right, y'all. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about episodes 1 and 2. Please, no spoilers in the comment section, okay? Because everybody has not watched. No spoilers for episodes 3 and on, okay? Don't tell nobody nothing. Okay, I don't want them to be like, oh, we went over here and we're spoiling it, okay? Please don't. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.